What's good people? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey. Today we're going to be discussing the Loki, what I'm calling series finale. That's right. There can be no more Loki episodes after that finale of season 2. So full spoiler warning here. I want to give this initial thought off the top. This is probably the most fitting into the season and show as they could ever come up with. I feel like it is a beautiful ending to the Loki character. I feel like it is a beautiful ending and a really symbolic ending, ironically symbolic ending to the series. If you talk to anybody about the state of Marvel over the last few years, people would say the Infinity Saga was perfect. The Multiverse Saga has been lacking. Most people would say that you had a few good entries, but for the most part, season 1 and this show has been the best representation of the Kang character, or arguably the best representation of the Kang character. So how fitting is it and how beautiful is it that at the end of that series, you have the main character Loki sacrificing himself to hold the multiverse together. It was fantastic. You start the episode, and this is the recap portion of the video. You start the episode with Loki reliving certain moments. And I knew that he would do this based on how last week's episode ended, but the time that he dedicates to do it is mind-blowing. He spent centuries learning all the physics and all the knowledge that OB and Victor Timely knew of. He calculated every step necessary to get that guy on the platform at the right time, only to see that this problem is an unsolvable problem. And then he goes all the way back to season 1, and then he goes through that fight a numerous amount of times until he can actually learn how to freeze time and still can't solve the problem in a way that he sees fit. You have beautiful, absolutely beautiful moments with Mobius and Loki discussing what it means to sacrifice, what it means to do what needs to be done for the greater good, and all that stuff and what it entails. Then you get the moment between Loki and Sylvie where it clicks in his head, and you get the moment where he realizes, I know what I have to do to be a good god. I know what I have to do to do things right. And that wasn't to fix the loom, but that was to totally eliminate it, remove it from the equation, and start a brand new system, that's something that you can hold together yourself. I feel like it was spectacular, man. Like, it was an amazing conclusion to everything that they were trying to do with the show. If there's one thing that's true about me, like, I'm always looking to find Jesus in things. So when Loki said, I know what I have to do to be a good god, I thought, like, okay, we're gonna get to some sacrifice, because that's one thing I know of Jesus, is that in all the other religions, you don't see any deity that's willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of others, sacrifice themselves for others to be reconciled. You just don't see that in other places. So once he said that, and he had alluded to sitting on the throne or being on the throne, I thought there's going to be some way to tie in Loki taking a seat and giving up himself for everybody else, for the TVA to survive, for his friends that he so eloquently and emotionally expressed in the last episode. Like, he's gonna do something for them to survive, and he's going to be the one to, like, sacrifice himself. I didn't know how. Comic book wise, science wise, all that stuff, I don't know how it worked. But watching him walk down the ramp and watching the clothes shed and his old garb coming back out with the horns and everything, just a beautiful moment for the character. Powerful visuals in the fact that he grabs these time branches, and instead of just letting them wither and die, like, he uses his magic, which is cool, and it runs with the theme of this season. I know if you watch my videos, I kind of talk about in a few of them, the early ones, that we see Loki using his powers more in season 2 than I feel like he did in season 1, in different ways. And now we get to see him use his powers to hold things together and give life to those branches, and then eventually, ultimately, keep everyone alive with his godly power, which is just amazing. It's amazing that he say, I'll give up all my life. So Mobius and B-15 and Sylvie and OB and Victor Timely and those characters that I've spent so much time with, reliving things over and over, I've come to love, and even Casey. Like, I've spent so much time with all these characters, learning and doing and trying to save them, that now I'll just give up my life and use all the power in me to keep things going for their sake. That sacrifice, that's sacrificial love. That is, in my opinion, that's a Jesus type love. And I think it's cool. It's always cool to see that stuff play out with the characters, even though it's not, I know it's not Jesus. It's cool to see people or these characters willing to sacrifice and acknowledge that sacrifice is the greatest expression of love that most people can show. Great episode. Great episode. I think that's all the thoughts that I have. Probably get on the phone with my best friend and chop it up quite a bit about this. Let me know what your thoughts were on the episode. I know it all didn't make 100% sense, comic book wise, show wise, just based on the rules of the show that we've seen thus far. I know it doesn't all come together quite well, because even with Renslayer, I was waiting to see some type of resolution for a character. Miss Minutes was rebooted and Renslayer just dropped off at the end of time, and I guess the big cloud monster is going to get her, and that's just it for her. Everything is not super neat at the end of this series, but it's good enough, and it feels final. It feels good. It feels like if I never see Loki again on anything, I'm good with it, because the way y'all sent him off here, superb. But those are the thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Please enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.